Hey guys, so today I want to start a new series where I do some VOD reviews. So I'm probably going to start with my own games. I think during my last stream I played two games that I'm very proud of that were slightly a little bit unconventional. At least I wanted to do a VOD review of these two games. But yeah, maybe after the video you guys should let me know whether you like this format or not and whether I should keep doing more VOD reviews. So let's go ahead and get started. Um, So yeah, I'm gonna be let's just before we get started, I'm gonna be watching my own VOD at probably 3 times speed, and then during key decision making points, I'll go ahead and pause the video and let you guys know what I was thinking at the time. So at the beginning, I started with tier. It's not like tier's the strongest or anything like that. It's just one of the item options I'd like to start with. Something else I want to mention briefly was that during this VOD, my internet let me go ahead and play the VOD. My internet connection wasn't super stable, so you'll see that even though I'm at the highest quality, the video is gonna be still a little bit blurry. But I think even with the blurry video, I think it's still worth a watch. So you guys might see some like temporary cuts and stuff. So right off the bat, I got dropped a Nunu and a brand. So here's the first decision making point in the game. So I get to drop the Nunu, a brand, and a Sejuani. And at this point, I know that I'm playing for a win streak. So I have the three following items. I have a tier, I have a glove, and I have a bow. And at this point, I'm thinking, what's the strongest item I can make here that has a that makes sense on the carry I have right now. So I ended up slamming Hand of Justice on Brand. I'm pretty sure this is the strongest item I could have made because Brand is really powerful early on. So I use this to win streak. But I think even with Hand of Justice on Brand, I don't think my board is strong enough to streak, so I keep trying to get stronger. So in this case, right here, I make a Runas Hurricane on Callista. Now, usually people don't really like to stack the Abomination items with carry items anymore, such as Hurricane and Hand of Justice. But right here, I choose that if I can maintain my streak, it's well worth it. And then I can always play another carry with Runas Hurricane and Hand of Justice later, like Yasuo. So right here, I'm pretty happy with this. I also try to hold some Draconic units in the event that I hit 3 Draconic. I could possibly play that. But right here, I make the realization that even if I were to hit Draconic, I probably would rather try to win streak than play Draconic, right? So in this case, I would definitely try to make the decision to sell the Draconic units here and make Econ stack. So that's exactly what I do. Keeper Security is the leading cybersecurity platform for protecting individuals, families, and businesses against password-related cyber attacks, aka hacks. These attacks can lead to identity theft, financial loss, and reputation damage. Experts predict that cyber criminals will increasingly target the gaming industry over the next 3 years. And with Keeper, you can create strong, unique passwords for every account where you can log in, but you can keep them stored safely in your own encrypted vault. Visit keepersecurity.com/Beastcoast and use the code Beastcoast in all caps for a 30% off promo code. Stay safe out there. So, yeah, this video really is really laggy. So hopefully the other one's better. So here I try to keep getting stronger. Decide that playing my second brand was my strongest board. I put the chain vest on Nunu because I still want to maintain my win streak. And there's a lot of good Abom items that can be built out of chain vest, such as Sunfire Cape, Bramble Vest, and Times Resolve. So not too much to comment. Lee Sin here is my strongest board. At this point, I'm also thinking about playing Yasuo, since I have perfect best in slot Yasuo items. And then I also have 2 Nightbringers, in this case Sejuani and Lee Sin. So, and then right here I hit a Yasuo. I get very excited to go ahead and put that into my comp. Here I think I actually make a mistake. Here I actually end up making a mistake. So I get dropped 6 gold right here. I should have sold Pike and the 2 Threshers, but instead I dropped the Lee Sin. Right here, if I had a Lee Sin instead of the 2 Threshers, my board will be a lot stronger, right? Because then I can play my 6th unit as Lee Sin. As of right now, I don't have a 6th unit to play, so my board is actually quite a bit weaker. So right here, instead, I just play a Gragas, which is a lot weaker than playing Lee Sin. I put the Hodge on Yasuo. Honestly, that's probably not correct here. Probably should have put the Hodge on Kalista, as that was my strongest board, and that was the gives me the highest chance to win streak. So right here, I lose my win streak. It's a little bit unfortunate, but I made a few misplays that caused me to lose my win streak. So once again, just to reiterate the misplays, my first play was not playing the Lee Sin. By playing the Lee Sin over the two Threshers, by keeping the Lee Sin over the two Threshers, I could have played Lee Sin, Sejuani, Yasuo. I could have put the Hand of Justice onto this Kalista as well. So what would happen was my 2-item Kalista would absolutely shred through enemy teams. But instead, I barely lost my last fight, and then caused me to lose my win streak. Another thing I could have done was I could have before that fight started. So let's just go back to that fight. Before that fight started, I could actually scout it to see how strong he was. So let's just say I go ahead and scout and see how strong he is, right? He's not that much stronger than me. All I needed was a unit that's slightly better than Gragas right here. Something like maybe like a Ziggs or a Zyra. Honestly would have won me the fight. So it's a little bit unfortunate that I lost to him. I could have scouted and rolled instead. Hit even one upgrade would have won me the fight. So it's okay. That's a little mistake. So at this point, I'm still not super certain exactly what I'm going to play. You can tell that I'm trying to hold a few options on my bench. I'm mostly interested in Yasuo because I have the Sejuani, but it's going to be very difficult to commit to Yasuo if I don't natural some more Yasuos. And then here I hit a Lucian. I'm definitely thinking about Lucian right here because in this case, at some point my Lucian would be Hodge, Runa's Hurricane Lucian, which is also very strong. So I'm definitely going to hold this Lucian. Unfortunately, it's not stronger than anything on my board right now, so. So then at this point in the carousel, mostly last pick, I'm just trying to get finish another Abomination item. In this case, I get my hands on Bramblebust, which is a perfect Abomination item. So right now I have a 3-item Abomination. I'm probably not looking for any more Abomination items, as I'm probably gonna be looking for either a utility item or for carry item. And right here, I level and play in 4 brawlers because I'm on a 2 win streak. In this case, the prospect of trying to keep my win streak is very attractive, so I definitely want to keep my win streak going. Also, my board is really strong, so leveling here will let me continue my win streak. So right here is probably the first. Let me go ahead and slow this down to. Right here is probably the first major decision of the game. So right here, I'm deciding between the 5 different options for my board. I'm deciding between Radiant Bloodthirster, Radiant Redemption, Radiant Deathblade, Radiant Locket, and Radiant QSS. So right off the bat, QSS is pretty useless on my team, and so is Locket. As these two don't really provide any value, I have a really strong front line, and I don't really have a unit I care about getting not CC'd. So Bloodthirster, there's a pretty good argument for Bloodthirster, but right now I have 2 Hand of Justices, which are both healing items. So trying to take a 3rd healing item is definitely a no-go. The two attractive options right here would be Radiant Redemption and Radiant Deathblade. So Radiant Redemption would be a really strong Abomination item, but right now I have 3 Abomination items, and I'm not trying to go down to 2 Abom. And if I took a Radiant Redemption item, I wouldn't have any offensive items right now because both Hand of Justices are actually pretty weak offensive items. My only offensive item will be a Deathblade. So right here, I'm mostly interested in a 3rd carry item, or in a 2nd carry item. So my 2nd carry item option will definitely be Deathblade, and plus it synergizes really well with my Runa's Hurricane. So in this case, I think Deathblade is the correct choice, but the Radiant Redemption is a very close second. So in this case, I definitely think about both Radiant Redemption and Deathblade. I go ahead and end up taking Deathblade right here. Cool. So then at this point, I'm still not really committed to a comp. I have weaned off of Yasuo though. The reason why I weaned off of Yasuo is because I took this Deathblade, and Yasuo can't use Deathblade very well. And then in addition, I haven't naturaled any Lucians here. Sorry, I haven't naturaled any Yasuos here. So taking Deathblade will be playing Yasuo will be very risky as well. Here I hit a Volibear, which is definitely a pretty big high roll. So And then at this point, there's a few misplays I think I did. So at this point, this Yasuo is no longer doing any sort of work. I should move this Hand of Justice onto my Callista actually, mainly because this Yasuo is a 1-star, and in addition doesn't have any supporting items. My Callista is a 2-star and has 2 items already, so making Callista a 3-item carry will be a lot stronger than having the items split between 2 units. Unfortunately, I don't really realize this, so I think I play like a significantly weaker board for a very long time. I could have kept this streak going for a very, very, very long time if I made that realization, but yeah, I probably would have won this fight if Callista rolled healing on Hand of Justice, but it's okay. So at this point, I don't need another damage item. At this point, I'm trying to finish my some utility items like even items like Zephyr, even items like Six is okay. But right here, I'm definitely greeting for another tank item for Abomination, either Warmogs or Sunfire, or I want to make a Morellos for Volibear. So once again, I'm pretty sure this fight was a Callista item diff. So a lot of mistakes this game actually, pretty surprising. So I hit this Fiddlesticks. I still don't make the realization that I need to take out Yasuo, but it's okay. My board is still quite strong because of this Abomination. These are really good Abomination items, and 4 Brawler frontline. Oh, sorry, my frontline is really strong as well, and I have a really strong backline carrying Callista. So here, I think I decided to make Morello, Nomicon, Volibear, which is really, really strong for my team. And here, I want to make start making backup units for my Abomination. So eventually, I want to move this Hand of Justice off of Brand, right? So by holding onto a secondary Brand on my bench, I can sell my original Brand at any time and move this onto another carry unit. So then here, I finally make the realization that I should sell my Yasuo and stack my Callista with 3 items. And I instantly get a lot stronger. Unfortunately, I still lose fights because my board is quite weak. But definitely the right move here. I should have realized this a long time ago. So even in this game, I made quite a few mistakes. Here, I rolled a KO. It's like a meme in my stream to try to make KO work. Obviously, KO is not a very good play here. It's obviously a mistake, but it's just a meme. I purposely played this KO for the. It's kind of as a joke. This KO sucks. So. If I end up hitting KO 2, I would actually play here. I would play with these 3 items. KO is actually a pretty good AD carry if you can hit KO 2. And then here's probably the sorry. Let me go ahead and slow this part down. This is probably the biggest. Here's the roll down at 5-1. This is probably the biggest decision that we need to talk about. So prior to the roll down at 5-1, what I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about how to try to find a carry for my board. So here, let me show you my board real quick. So my carry items are Uranus Hurricane, Deathblade, and Hand of Justice. What I'm looking for is an AD carry. So there's 4 or 5 AD carries I'm looking for. I'm looking for either Lucian, Draven, Akshan, Aphelios, a Jax, or Kale. So any of those 6 units would work. During my roll down, I hit quite a few. If I could choose any one of them, I would definitely choose Akshan, right? So let me just go ahead and show you that during my roll down, I hit quite a few of these. I sell all the units on my board to try to transition very quickly. I hit too many units, such as this and Aphelios in my shop. It's really hard to decide what I need to sell. So I have to give up on at least 1 unit. So in here, I decide, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to give up on Lucian to make my life a lot easier. So I don't even look at Lucian anymore. I just tunnel on the rest of the 5 units. Here I hit 2 Akshans, and the moment I hit 2 Akshans, I commit to Akshan. This is because my stream lagged again. This is because I have 2 Akshans. The chances of me hitting a 3rd Akshan is pretty high, because if I sold all the unrelated units on my board, I would have about 30 gold. With 30 gold and 64 HP to work with, I have a very, very good chance of hitting Akshan at least by stage 6. So here I just go ahead and commit to Akshan and not worry too much about it. I have a lot of HP to work with, and I have a lot of econ to work with. So then I just sell some of the units that I'm not playing anymore. I hold on to Heimer as a secondary carry right here, because I'll go ahead and explain it in a second. So let me go ahead and speed this back up. So I go ahead and hold on to this Heimerdinger as a secondary carry because right here I get kind of lucky and hit a Spirit Shojin. The reason why right here I would take Spirit Shojin over something like Thieves Dust or even Mystic Emblem is because I realized that my Akshan is actually only level 1. So by having a level 1 Akshan, I run the risk of having him get killed and immediately losing the fight. But what happens if I have a secondary carry is that even if Akshan dies, my secondary carry will sometimes output enough DPS for me to win the fight. And right here, I choose Heimerdinger as my secondary carry because since I have Akshan, I already have a strong AD carry DPS. If I have multiple strong AD carry DPSs like Akshan and Aphelios, I would just end up getting countered very hard by Ironclad. Even with Akshan's physical damage shred, often it's not strong enough to fight for Ironclad, for example. So by diversifying my damage profile to include both AD and AP, in this case, Heimerdinger also does true damage because of his burn. I have a much easier time dealing with different types of compositions. So here, for sure, I instantly take Spirit Shojin, and then I go ahead and play my Heimerdinger as my secondary carry. Now, what happens is that, well, I get lucky and hit Akshan too. But now what happens is that even if the enemy kills Akshan, I probably have enough DPS to win the fight. So the rest of the game is kind of a breeze. After I hit this Akshan too, it's pretty much just GG from here. I pretty much steamroll the rest of the lobby until I fight Kurum at the very end. So let me just go ahead and play this out. So, probably shouldn't fast forward this, but let me just go ahead and play this out. I'll just play at 4x speed. And let me show you guys the final 1v1 with Kurum. Because I think everybody else in this lobby was pretty much low rolling. So then, well, they weren't low rolling, but their comps weren't super capped. I think me and Kurum's comps got really capped. So we're the only ones who ends up trying to contest first. Everybody else, I think, was just playing for top 4. So let me, I guess during this downtime, I'll do some basic rundown on positioning. So right here, I have to try to position my Akshan and Aphelios at the same side because I know that Akshan provides a shred needed for Aphelios. I also try to put Akshan on the second row, mostly because I realized that Akshan has a range of 3, so I don't really want him to like take time to walk up before starting to DPS. I want him to start DPSing right off the bat. Here I hit a tome. In this case, it didn't really matter too much, but I just gave Remnant to Heimerdinger. And then here's pretty much my final board against Kurum. So let me go ahead and just show you his final board. Slow down a little bit. Okay, so here's Kurum's final board. So right off the bat, let me just point out some key features. He has 4 Ironclad right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my Akshan is going to be doing very little DPS, even though Akshan has Armor Shred, he can't really fight for Ironclad. Second off, you can see that in this case, Kurum Zephyred my Heimerdinger. And in this case, my Heimerdinger is doing the most amount of DPS to the enemy team. He has no Mystics, so his team is inherently weak to Heimerdinger. And then third off, he has a Viego that's jumping onto my Heimerdinger. So in this fight, my Heimerdinger gets Zephyred, and most likely my Heimerdinger will probably get hit by Viego after Viego hits Brand. So in the future, in this case, I would need to know that in order to win this fight, all I have to do is make sure the Heimerdinger casts. So right here, my Heimerdinger dies right off the bat, doesn't get to play the game, so then of course I lose. So let me go ahead and show you the rest of the fight. In this case, how I ended up wrapping this game up was to go ahead and make sure my Heimerdinger stays safe. I'll make sure Heimerdinger gets the cast off, and then from here it should be an easy first. Yep, so Heimerdinger gets his cast off this fight, and I end up winning. So in the event, in the event that I'm still losing, even when was Heimerdinger getting his cast off, there's two additional things I could do to improve my comp and my chances of winning. So the first thing I could do is, let me show you his comp before we talk about this. So there's two things I could do to actually improve my chances of winning this game. So if you look at his board is weak to two things. First off, it's weak to Heimerdinger. And then second off, it's weak to Teemo. If I have Teemo and my Teemo Shrooms land onto his Jax's DPS instantly gets halved. And that's the vast majority of his DPS. Same applies for Nidalee. So if I have Teemo and hits Nidalee and Jax, he essentially loses all DPS. And second thing is that all I need to do is buy time for my Heimerdinger. So another good unit to put in would be a unit like Gwen or a unit like another Volibear. Because these two units allows me to buy time for my Heimerdinger cast. So there's multiple options on how I can strengthen my team to actually win this fight against Grim. In this case, I picked Gwen, but Teemo or Volibear would be great choices as well. So you can see that I put my Heimerdinger all the way far left to make sure he casts, and then the moment Heimerdinger casts, his entire team instantly gets melted, and I win the fight like that. So, hope you guys found this one enjoyable. I just want to make sure that for this game, a lot of it comes down to, at the very beginning of the game, I identify my strongest board. I stack my Kalista with a lot of carry items, because I know that I have a Kalista too, and she's the strongest carrier on my team. Even though she's an abomination, I'm willing to sell her later into the game if it means that I can win streak, into stage 5 or into stage 6. During this game, I actually made quite a few mistakes. As you can tell, I didn't play strongest board very many turns. I ended up playing a Yasuo 1 with items instead of stacking Kalista 2. So even in a game like this, you can see that yeah, I've made very many mistakes, but so there's a lot of things to improve on. But overall, I'm very proud with how I played this game. I think it was definitely like a demonstration of how to truly play flexible. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm sorry this video was a little bit laggy, but I enjoyed this game enough that even though the VOD was a little bit choppy, I still went and shared it with you guys.